Introducing the Book of Nobantu and the Five Seeds, a web audio novella series, written and directed by Mkhulu Mbazo. Genre, Nobantu. Chapter 1, Episode 1, Season 1.
Jesus answered them, "Is it not written in your law?" I said, "We are gods." John 10 verse 34. In the beginning there was a seed. The seed was in the hand of the planter, and the planter planted the seed, and the seed became fruit. Inside every seed there is one or more seeds. Every seed has a name and produces after that name, but the seed does not know this. Only the planter knows. There are many things that the seed does not know about itself, like the fact that the seed is like a whole universe in the hand of the planter. The seed also does not know when it was created, its lifespan, and how many times it will multiply over generations. The seed does not know on which ground it will find the root. The planter did not just plant the seed directly into the ground. He threw the seed into the air, and it hovered gracefully for a moment, as if contemplating its next move. As the seed was hovering gracefully in the air, joyfully contemplating its next move, and the sheer wonderful journey ahead of it, the seed could not help but pose one very important question to the planter. "What is your name?" "You mean, what are my names?" the planter corrected, as he softly blew gentle breeze on the seed, which was floating around the planter as if in a water bubble. "One of my names is Mchali," the planter continued, and before the seed could pose another question, the planter quickly added, "May you be light as a feather. May you be fruitful and multiply. Fill the plantation." As the planter pronounced these blessings, he suddenly blew at the seed with all his strength and might, sending the seed tumbling down slowly, dancing rather with pomp and ceremony as it came down to earth. As all this was happening, the clouds became pregnant with water droplets. The droplets bumped into each other, turned into rain, and fell on fertile ground. Seeing that the soil was good enough for planting, the seed descended with more pace until it landed on the ground with a bang. Then the ground opened up its mouth and slowly swallowed the seed until it was firmly buried deep inside the soil. For some time that cannot be measured, it seemed as if the seed was buried forever, never to rise again. But something was happening deep in the ground, unseen by anyone else but the eyes of the planter. Because all great kingdoms start like a mustard seed. All big fires start with a spark, and all great things start in silence and in separation. When the rains finally stopped, the seeds sprouted up and multiplied into billions of seeds. And out of billions of seeds, 5 were set aside by the planter for a special purpose. All this happened in broad daylight, when the sun was up and the stars and the moon watched unseen. Later that day in the month of September, the evening will be graced by the full moon. That was the beginning. Fast forward to present day, where our story begins with the heroine of our story, Nobantu, dying and going into the waters. It might sound strange that our story will begin with death, especially the death of a heroine. But to every death, there is rebirth. So, on her 18th birthday to be exact, while she was waiting for the signal to come back on the Wi-Fi, so that she could listen to the spoken word from nymusic.com website, Nobantu died, and her soul took flight. But before she could go to the place deep inside the waters, Her spirit looked down on her beautiful corpse. She was fascinated by the sight of a lifeless body as her spirit finally sank deep down into the unknown. As her soul touched the light with the speed of light, the poem continued unabated. Stories of home. How can you talk me into not talking or writing about stories of home? Saying stories of home are nothing to write home about, when I can talk and write about home till the cows come back home. These towers of Babel block my view of home, for in this populous city I feel overcrowded and alone. I long for the human touch of birds whistling at me with the leaves ruffling their feathers on the edges of the countryside. At home the spaces are vast. I can be figured out and be fingered by itchy palms, longing to touch my blood in a priceless handshake. At home people know your name. They want to know your surname so that they can call you by your clan name. At home people talk to you and not to their cell phones. Ekhaya kusekhaya lami, lapho kwasala inkaba yami khona. Ekhaya kusekhaya, akudlulwa ngendlu yakhiwa. Ekhaya kulapho inhliziyo yami ikhona. Ekhaya kusezulwini lami. So, how can you talk me into not talking or writing about stories of home? Saying stories of home are nothing to write home about, when I can talk and write about home till the cows come back home. Ekhaya kusekhaya lami, lapho kwasala inkaba yami khona.
You have been listening to the Book of Nobantu and the 5 Seeds. Join us for Chapter 2, Episode 2, Season 1 on n1music.com/Mkhulu Mbazo. The Book of Nobantu and the 5 Seeds. Another chapter by the Book of Abantu.